Hello, hello, everyone. Just going to get myself set up here so I can see. I know I kind of just like threw this in because we can. I think today we're just going to have a play. I know I've got the sun glare coming in. But that's okay. We need to have our sunshine in because it's a beautiful day. If anyone should show up, let me know that you can hear me. Because, I never know that. Never know that. Hello, Clint. Hello, Terry. Yes, it has been a long time. Terry, I'm always up early. I could go live at like 4 a.m. Eastern time. That's usually the time that I am up and moving around. But I haven't been live in a while, and, I kind of miss it. I kind of like going live. And today, it's actually going to be a live simplicity. So for those of you that have been here for a little bit, I do a simplicity series where we let our paper do the work for us, because it can. It's beautiful paper. So, it can do just some wonderful things. And this is what we're going to create, or use. So grab any 6x6 paper pad, and we're going to do some flips on it this time, because again, we can do all kinds of different things with our cardstock and our pattern papers, whether we have die cuts or stamps or not. We don't need that stuff to make beautiful cards. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut some of my bases down. I don't use Nina. I use like the accent cardstock. That's 110 pounds. Or I'll go to, there's an online shop that I go to. That has a good price on 110 pound. Recollections 110 pound cardstock is really good. But I'm just going to get some bases cut down. Both, what I like, I heard Lindsay say this, and I never stopped saying it now, ever since she said it. We're going to cut it either the hamburger or the hot dog style. Yes. Let's see. So when I cut in the hot dog style, I'm cutting an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper at 4 1/4 along the 8.5 side. And for the hamburger style, I'm cutting a 8.5 sheet at 5.5. I don't know how many cards we'll go through today, so I'm just going to get a bunch of bases cut down. One, it'll build up my stash. And then I'll have them for future projects. Yesterday, I was feeling very nostalgic. So you're going to see a video come up soon up on the channel where I was just having nostalgic play with Scrappy Tales, and one of Sabrina's first pop-up cards. It's the pop-up box. And I just had to play with it. I don't know. There was just this nostalgic feeling I had coming in. It was kind of funny. But it's nice to go back into our stash, dig around, because everything can go with everything, right? We don't have to keep one brand together. We don't have to keep the same dies together. We can have a fun mix and match when it comes to our supplies. So keep an eye out for that. They were really fun to make. I think those pop-ups make awesome centerpieces, and that's kind of what I created there. So our paper pad. So grab any 6x6. Does not have to be this one. This one happens to be by Paper Rose, and it's the Poppy Field collection. This one's been out for a while. And these come with 18 double-sided pattern papers, 3 of each 12 designs. And don't forget, we can always use these as well, because these are kind of cool as they come across. I did grab some solid cardstock. I love to create my mats that coordinate and will accent the colors. So if we see those, kind of cool, kind of different, makes them pop. I'm surprised I don't have black in here. I do get my accent. When I go for the accent cardstock, yeah, I get that from Amazon. I just love the time frame at which you receive things, because I always forget. I have to check my stock. Trying to find a spot for these so that they're not in my way. Amazon, you just get that quick delivery when it comes to that. And then these are the patterns that we'll get when it comes to this. So love the patterns, very soft. I don't know if I'll use that one too much, but it does have some great sentiments that you can cut out, which I think is awesome. We're not going to pull in any stamped sentiments. Usually when I do my simplicity, I keep them open so that they can be used for any occasion. Because even these, you can make them any occasion. It's just by changing your sentiment. So, have fun with it. What I am going to do is pull in my scoreboard. And we're just going to create some different folds, some different fun folds. Oh, did it just pop up? Yeah, I had it. I'm a little late with that. I've just been down. I was just, did you ever have one of those days where you're just like, you're kind of like all over the place? And that's kind of how I felt. I didn't want to do what I was supposed to do. All right, so this one's the hamburger style cut. And again, since we have 8.5 going across here, if we just score this at 4 1/4, we now have our basic card base, and it is a side folding. So that's one that we can do. To have another basic, if we take the hot dog style, so again, cut it 4 1/4 and 11. If we score this at 5 1/2, and we just fold that over, now we've got a top folding. And I usually go for a top folding card. For some reason, that's what I gravitate to. I'm going to pull in one of the other hamburgers. And for this one, I'm going to create 2 score lines. So if we take our score at 4 1/4 and we look at that top portion, this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So half of 4 1/4 is 2 1/8. So I'm going to score it here at 2 1/8. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. So come over 1, 2 1/8. So that when we fold this over, I always hope that I've scored in the right spot. And now we've got a card base that now opens this way. And we can have fun creating a belly band. We can have fun, you know, just having fun putting flaps coming across it. For this one here, we can do the same thing. We can score anywhere that we want. You just want to make sure that your base, when you're using the hamburger style, that your base is that 4 1/4 when you're doing a standard A2 size card. Remember, standard A2 size is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it measures the top. So when you cut, you've just got to double something so that you get the fold in half. Okay, so this one we did that evenly, and I haven't used my paper creaser to push all these down. For this one, I'm going to come over 1 inch, and I'm doing these on the fly because that's, you know, it's how I go when it comes to that. So I'm going to score down 1 inch on the right side. And knowing that, so I can come from this side and say, okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4. So I still have my 4 1/4 here, and I can take this, and when I fold it over, I now still have that 4 1/4. So don't think you always have to be in the middle. We can always have these pieces that come off to look different. This can either sit this way, or we can turn this around and have it sit this way, whichever way that you would want. So again, I'm just having some fun creating some bases. Now, we can also do different types when it comes to our hot dog style, our top folding. The difference with our top folding is we still score it, or I still score it, at 5 1/2 to go down the center. But for this one, we start adding cuts to get that look. I mean, you can't have something that kind of, you know, folds up and folds down because you'll have that opening here. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off 2 inches. So I'm just going to take that to my paper trimmer off to the side here. And I'm just going to cut off 2 inches from that bottom. Save that scrap. Hello, Cordelia. I hope your day is going well. Welcome. And then now we have this. And then we can have our pieces hanging off. And I'll show you how I work when it comes to those pieces coming off. Another way that we can take our top folding is, again, I always like to do my center score so that I know that's where I have that, and fold that. And from the fold, I'm going to put that in my paper trimmer. I'm going to come down, I'm going to put the fold at 2 inches, and I'm going to cut. So now I've got that. But then I'm going to take this piece. If I keep this piece here, we have a full front. I'm going to cut 1.5 inches off of this piece. Try to grab it for my paper trimmer. So now that I have this, I've got these 3 pieces here, and I'm going to remove the center. And we're going to connect these. So we're going to connect that bridge. So that's how you can get that opening that's going on in here. So I'll just tuck that up in there. So just having fun. Cordelia, I am still in my PJs too. Yep, absolutely. I'm going to take a sip of my drink here. I haven't... Well, now... How can you hear me, Cordelia? Good morning. Is that Delia B? Is that how we say that? I pronounce her names very wrong, so I apologize. Okay. All right, let's do a couple more. Now, we can do the same thing when it comes to what I'm referring to as the hamburger style. But again, I always like to get that initial, that halfway cut or score. So I'm going to score that at 4 1/4 because this is 8 1/2. Again, I'm going to get that folded. And then I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to have an inch here, and I'm going to put another inch here. So I'm going to take that score line and line it up to an inch. Cut. Bad cut. Bad cut. But we will fix that. And then I'm going to take my other piece that's extra and put that along the 1 inch. I love my cutter. Or this cutter. For those of you that just came in, this is the cutter that I'm using. Absolutely love it because it's a rotary blade. I like the rotary blades or a guillotine style. But if I go up, I get a cleaner cut. When I come down, it's just not so clean. It kind of tears up the paper. And it's an operator error. Totally operator error. So now we have these 3 pieces. I'm going to take this. I'll save that. And now we'll be able to create that bridge that goes across as well. So when it's folded, we'll have something that opens like this. All right, and I'm going to tuck that in there. Hopefully I don't lose these pieces because you know I'm going to. I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to take it right to my cutter, and I'm going to cut off 2 1/2 inches off the one side. I'm going to put that in my reserve. I'm going to put this back in here, knowing that this used to be 8 1/2 inches wide. I'm going to go to 4 1/4, score it right there, and now we've got that one piece, and we're going to have our pieces hanging off that way. So those are the different type of bases that we're going to work with our Simplicity cards. Now, if I come up with any more, I've now got bases for my stash, and we're just going to have fun. All right, so we'll move these. Let's see if there's any questions. I just... You're awesome. Well, some people say you don't have to do that with me because I'm so loud. Let's see if there's any questions. Cordelia, I have one of those too. It's huge. This cutter, the rotary blade. Is it like really big and gray and has the orange handle that you push down and then swipe up? That is the best cutter that I have found for chipboard. Guillotines work great, and I have a guillotine, a very good one, when I'm doing a scrapbook album, which I was going to do that today, but I think there would have been like a lot of downtime with doing that. I actually have to thought with that. Okay, Cordelia, I know what one you're talking about, the one that folds up. Okay. I know what one. Yeah, mine doesn't. It's flat and it fills up this whole, more so the whole. It's just huge. I got to prop it up against the wall. I've had it forever and a day. Guillotines will work too with chipboard, but I don't like the fact that it slides and I can get a bad shift in the cut. All right, for each of these, I'm just going to reinforce the score line. It's just something that I do a lot. Make sure my other pieces get tucked in there. And just make sure that these are in place. Get them to lay as flat as possible. I'm always fighting with that. So when it comes to our pattern paper, I know I drive people nuts when it comes to that because I don't measure, I just cut. I know my cuts need to be smaller than 4 1/4. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I do like whatever base I'm using. I like to have that. I love mats. I love mats. So I like to, your card base can be a mat as well. So this is our first mat, and then I put our next mat, and then our pattern papers on top of that. So I know I just have to be smaller than a certain size, but I just don't measure. I don't take notice of it. I am also one that once I have the pattern paper cut, I'll take it and lay it on top of the solid cardstock and then just cut around it. Oh, that makes people crazy too. But, it's because I love my long shears. I just love my long shears. Because they're awesome. And you can get cuts done in one swipe. Been working with the new Tim Holtz. They are phenomenal. Delia, it is. You can have fun with different cuts. Create these different illusions in the back. You can get out a craft knife and cut out the center and then just have your pieces coming in as well. And you know what? Let's do one of those. Let me grab one of those because they're just fun. They're just fun. And you don't have to worry about the back side, but because you get this cute, it's like a collage type thing that you can get. So let's make one of those as well. So I'll bring this up and I'll score it. So thank you everyone for joining me today. I just don't want to work on what I'm supposed to. And I'm so far behind on some stuff. And I felt so bad. I was down for a little bit. Wasn't feeling too good. For a little bit. All right. Now, there are templates that I have created from scraps. For my scraps. I put my scraps to use. I'm not sure if I have one for the size that I'm looking for here. Nope. So I'm going to grab another one. to do what Biddy did and create a be right back sign. Here we go. All right, so this measures, this is a piece of scrap chipboard, like a cereal box. And I am going to cut this down. Let's see, what, 4.5 by 3.25 looks like. Yes, that's what we want. And then I label it, and I just keep it somewhere. Because again, we don't need to have all of the fancy tools. I like to put my arrows so I know which way it goes. Mark it a template so I don't throw it out. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to eyeball this in the center. I know that drives people crazy too. But yeah, you know, I don't want to go crazy. Going to mark around this with a pencil lightly. Lift that up. And we'll grab this. Let's see. I'm looking at comments, see if there's any questions. Cordelia, I do the same thing. Yes, I have, you know, as we continue to create and be creative, yes, we find, just going to cut along these lines. We find certain things that we get comfortable with. And yeah, there's certain things that I will only use for this. I use a guillotine type cutter when it comes to my 12 by 12 papers to cut those down. I use my Tim Holtz rotary for all the miscellaneous stuff. I use my small Tim Holtz trimmer. Oh, well, that was good. My small one to cut my small pieces. And I have been using, I have these Spellbinders trimmer that they came out with. I really like that. Okay, so I did not do a good job cutting here. And I'm really liking how that cuts as well. So we're just going to cut this center out. Apply pressure when we use our craft knife. There we go. Oh, silly me. And then I'm going to erase the pencil lines around the outside, just in case they show. Now, you guys know me. I add everything but the kitchen sink to the front of my card, so I doubt these would show, but just in case. And I always use a white eraser. I like a white eraser because it does not leave any marks behind. These type of erasers will sometimes because they have residue of the graphite or the pencil. So I get a lot of questions. Why do you use that? Why do you use that? So that's why I'm just saying those things. I know. Isn't it amazing, Delia? Yeah, use a craft knife. There are just times where I think we forget to go back to the basics. You know, what did we do? Paper crafting has been around for decades. And even though, yes, I have all, and you can make your templates out of cereal boxes. That's what this is. This is a cereal box weight. The only reason why I have these is because I actually, I didn't have enough cereal boxes to cut them up, but I did. When it comes to shipping, when I ship out my cards, I like to put this chipboard in to stabilize it so it doesn't get too bent, to damage it. So I keep all of my scraps and I just make my templates and draw around it. Yes, I have, I mean, I'm not going to kid you. Yes, I've got a lot of tools. Do you need all of them? Nope. Absolutely not. Pencil, a good craft knife. You know, if you're going to go the route of a craft knife, get a good one. And also get one where you can change the blades out, because paper will dull your blades. I keep that. Paper will dull your blades. And once you use a pair of scissors or a craft knife for paper fibers, you don't want to use it for anything else. I know a lot of people will interchange their scissors, you know, cut from, you know, paper to fabric to threads. That will change your blade. So there are certain things that I do recommend when it comes to certain things. Yes, you need a pair of scissors for fabric snips. You need a pair of scissors for paper. And your blades will last a lot longer. So I'm just trying to organize my cards now. I'm going to save that. To look at, okay, this is what I've got. So these are the general ones. These are the ones with the piece. That's going to go there, because you know I'm going to do some collaging, right? That goes there. That's going to go there. That one's going to go there. Okay. So let's work off of our normal ones. Let's see here. Son got me a little sweeper from the Japanese eraser. Yeah, oh, those little vacuum cleaners are adorable. Absolutely adorable. Delia, I agree. You know, sometimes, you know, we've built up this stash, and yes, again, I have all of these tools, but again, I can't stress enough, you don't need them. You don't need all of the fancy tools when it comes to this. You can have fun. I'm actually just going to use the paper for this one to show you that. And I'm going to pull in my small cutter so that you can see what I'm cutting here. But yeah, sometimes we just, that's why I do enjoy my Simplicity series, because it brings me back to the basics. To say, okay, we don't need 10,000 inks. We don't need all of the tools. So here, this is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. So now, not only is this going to be a mat, I'm going to have that as a mat. I'm going to cut this down the center. That I know that's at 3. Let's cut that at 4. So we can put that there. And I'm just going to cut a strip off of this. Again, I'm just not measuring. I'm just lining it up. Looking at my papers. And here, if I take that, put that there. And if I take this, put that there. And then I can take this little bitty piece and I can put that there. Just layer up your cardstock. You know, have fun with it. I'm going to cut that one because I can do that. I can do that. There we go. We have a card. We have a card. And I used 2 sheets. Those are my scraps. And I keep my scraps. Let's get this glued down. Let's see. You don't have to ink around your edges. I mean, you certainly can. But again, for this, I just like to let the cardstock do the work. I'm going to pull this in just a little bit. Get that someone. I don't use a ruler to straighten. I don't. Could have pulled in the other side of this one. And that's what's great with pattern paper. I cannot stress enough. And I get this question a lot, and I will answer it every time. And the question is, how do you know what paper goes with what? So if you get a paper pack, all the papers match. They sometimes don't look it, but they do. Paper collections are designed to work together. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to change this to do that and that. Nope, I'm going to go back to my original thought. I'm going to go to that and that. They are designed that way. So it doesn't matter which paper you choose. You will have papers that coordinate. And I'm going to put that right there. And you can have fun where your sentiment goes. Perfect. Cards ready for any occasion. Celebration, anniversary, wedding. Can you use this for Christmas? Well, sure. If somebody has a birthday around Christmas, yeah, you could use this. It doesn't have to be a Christmas theme or a holiday themed card. You know, again, we are not Hallmark people. We are art creators with paper. There you go. First one. Set that off because we'll do a recap once we do that. For something like this, I mean, this is a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous image. Now, you could definitely, now we all know Biddy, right? Biddy would cut that out. Yes, she would. And she would use these scissors. I don't know how she does it. Woof! It is amazing what she does. For me, I like to trim it. For some reason, just cutting this out and getting that piece to sit is something that I gravitate to. Now I'm going to keep piling up my scraps here. So I'm going to cut this off each side. And I'm going to line it up onto the edge of this safety piece. And then I'm going to flip her. And I'm going to do the same thing. And let's see what that gives us. So she's pretty wide. So I'm just going to take this down. This is where my eyes will go back and forth to look at, okay, how can we get this piece centered? I'm looking at that mark there with my eye. Again, lining it up. I'm going to cut that down. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to cut that one flower off. I know, it's okay. And I'm going to come up a little more. So yeah, I do get very thin scraps sometimes because I'm trying to make this work. But that's okay. And it just gives you a different shape that comes across that. Still, I'm going to put all those there. What's the other side look like? Ooh, I like that. So that's going to go there. And I want a soft piece. So I always know my mat, when it goes down onto my card base, is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. So I know that's going to sit there. That's going to go here, and it's going to line up. So I'm going to have a top and a bottom to this. Now I'm going to decide, okay, do I want the top to be very small? Do I want this to be more? Because again, we can take this piece and put that there. And again, we have another card done. But we're going to add. So let's put this down. I don't use much glue when I'm gluing my pieces in place. I do prefer liquid adhesive. Looking at questions here. You know, you're right, Terry. It's, you know, again, yes, there's affiliate links there that people have and all of that. What I do is, you know, I don't link everything that I use. I do believe that tools are a personal choice. Yes, I'll say that again. Tools for me are a personal choice. So, you know, if somebody wants to know the cutter that I used or the pair of scissors that I used and they ask, I'll let them know. But I only list certain things. And yes, they are affiliate links. But yeah, let's just have fun creating. And that's how I look at all of the stuff that we create. I mean, because we are going to purchase things to add to our stash. But yeah, I'm very cautious with that. And then that's just going to sit down on the bottom. Woohoo. And there we go. Now we've got our second card. And again, we're just layering our paper. And guys, this is a form of collage. I love collaging. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I love collaging paper. I also love tearing paper. And there we go. Card number 2. You can put your sentiment down here. You can, you know, put it up in here, wherever you want your sentiment. And for me, I don't always put a sentiment on a card, even when I do send it out, only because the inside is my sentiment. I'm going to write what this card is, my note and everything else. Why cover up all the work that we did, right? Or we do on this. Don't cover it up. We put a lot of time on the front of those cards. They're pieces of art. Absolutely. Oh, Julie, that's awesome. I'm glad you are feeling inspired to create. That is wonderful. Okay. So now that we have these, this is the main premise of simplicity. Have fun with your pieces. Have fun just cutting. Don't focus on the cuts. Don't focus on what it is. Just have fun. Whether you have a trimmer or whether you just have a pair of scissors, just have fun creating your cuts and layering them. Okay? Just have a play. Somebody said it, I think, you said it's like a puzzle. Somebody said it. I saw that in here. Burp. Somewhere in there. Burp, burp, burp. and it's a puzzle that you can create. Now for this, no, I didn't add any solid cardstock because we didn't have to. We had, we have this somewhat solid cardstock as part of the paper pad. So you don't even have to worry about having solid cardstock, which is great. All right. So just know that your paper pad may have that. And you'll see that when you look, like, here's a solid background. Here's a solid background. Here's a solid background. This can be a solid background as well, even though there's like a design there. You know, you're not looking at your florals to be that background. So in most cases, you can just get a paper pad, get some white cardstock, and boom, you're set. And get what you need to cut. And that's really all you need. I do like to add solid cardstock because of the patterns. Sometimes the patterns, you want to break them up. And that's where I use solid cardstock. All right, so we have this. Very basics. We're going to step it up a notch now. We're going to take these to the next level. And what I mean by that is we're going to have some fun with some flips. You know, to have these cards that open up like this, but have these pieces jetting out. Now, it can be as simple of what you want, or you can, yes, we can also make this complex as well. Because that is what I do. I love this pattern here. When it comes to that, I just love these poppies. I love poppies. I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to take this, and I know I am going to make this 3x3. So there you go. There's a size. And for this, I am going to pull in some of my solid cardstock. So I'm going to choose a bold color. Yep, a bold, not black. I did not choose black, but I am going to go with like a darker teal greeny color. So this. So now that I know, I do know that this is cut 3x3. Now, usually I will take this and I will just glue that down there and take my scissors and cut around it. And you can eyeball it. It's okay. I promise you, it's okay. Okay, have fun. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it 3 1/4. Now I'm going to cut it 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. And what that's going to do is it's going to give me a 1/4 of an inch border around my piece. So if I take this, place this in here, I have a 1/4 of an inch border going around the piece. Remember, when you're cutting these and you've got this piece, always keep in your mind it's 4 1/4 wide by 5 1/2 inches tall when you're doing a standard A2 size card. I'm just grabbing, I did not fall. I'm just grabbing one of my tables here. Hold on, loud noise alert. There we go. Okay. Because then I can put my cutter over here. There we go. When you go, so if your base is that size, you want to make sure that this piece is not larger than that. Now, I do like things going off my card. But for this, again, keeping it within those parameters. I know this is going to sit there. And since this was cut to 3, and I cut this to 3.5, that's going to give me that 1/4 inch border. So again, because I cut it a 1/2 inch larger, there's a 1/4 inch on each side. 1/4 inch plus 1/4 inch equals the 1/2. And that's how you can get that. So when I take this and place this on here, it can still be set. But we're going to take this up a notch. So I can take this, glue this down right here, boom. Let's create, what's on the other side? Let's look at our papers. Sometimes I forget to look at the other side. Nope. 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 Oh, that'll be a fun one. Nope. There was a... Where did it go? That's the one I want. So I like that one. And again, I'm going to grab... Cut it, cut it, nope. Cut it, cut it, nope. Always check my scraps first. I love to do that. Now for this one, I am. So I'm going to take this piece. I'm not concerned at what it, look, I'm not even looking at what it's cut to be. I'm not going to measure it. Nope. And I'm just going to add my glue. And I'm going to eyeball the area around it. And I'm going to glue it down. Nope. Not looking, not measuring. Terry, I did not think you had issues with affiliates. And I totally, I do understand. You're right. There's things out there that, yeah, I do. I'm with you. Yep, I'm with you. So where do my ideas come from, Terry asks. You know, now I'm going to cut this. Before I answer that question, I'm going to cut it. So I know I've got this border here and I've got this border here. So I'm going to position my scissors somewhere about that. And I'm going to do one cut. I'm going to go straight up. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start it. I'm going to open up those scissors and I'm going to go straight across. There we go. Look at that. Woohoo! I know this drives people crazy. For me, it's quicker. It's just quicker for me to do this. Just absolutely quick. Guys, I think this is going to be a long live because I think we're already at an hour. Oh my goodness. You know, my ideas, Terry, come from how far can I push something? So, and what I mean by that is how far will this product work? Okay, and that's how that's going to sit. And what I'm using for this is, okay, there's the mat over there, and here's a mat over here. All right. So when you do this, keep your pieces down. I'm constantly using my paper creaser to get that flat. It just drives me crazy that it just pops up, but I understand it has to. And I'm going to take glue and I'm just going to put it along the edge. I'm going to close this. I'm going to set it down. And fingers crossed, I did not cross over to the other side. And I didn't. Woohoo! If I did, I would just wipe it away. It's all good. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to set that a little bit closer, we can have different borders going around. Why not? Let's have some fun and play with our shapes. Put some glue down. Going to set that down into the corner. And we're going to play that like that. So now when the recipient gets this card, now it opens up this way. See? And your sentiment could be hidden behind one of your blocks here. Sentiment can go up this way. You know, have a fun play. We don't have to, I think sometimes, you know, we get into the norm. I like to take a sentiment and put it on crooked. I like to, like with this one, I would take a happy birthday sentiment and stamp that underneath that so that when it's opened, happy birthday. It doesn't have to be straight on. And sometimes I think that's where we, you know, we hold ourselves. We're used to putting them straight inside. It also, again, does not need to have a sentiment on the outside. It can be this. One other thing that we can also do here is now that we have this open, why can't we take this beautiful piece here? I'm going to cut this in half. I just want to take some of that off. Now, we could take this strip and just line this up here to add a little bit of interest to the inside. I'm going to take this beautiful pink paper. I'm going to use that as my border. So I'm going to take my scissors. I know, I hear yous. I'm going to go up. I'm going to glue this down. Sorry for the squeaking. And I'm going to put that down there. It's going to give it just a hint of color to the back. Take that. And now, because it's a little too big, I'm going to shorten my mat. And I'm going to cut that all the way around. I know one of the reasons I think why everyone gets crazy with what I do is you can see these small pieces that I'm cutting off. Some can say, well, that's a waste of paper. True. But it's okay. I'm putting that on upside down. So now I'm going to take this one and I'm just going to put glue halfway. And now I'm going to put this down here. So now we have it peeking out there. When we open it, we've got that. And now we've got that. See? Can have fun. Have fun. Let's see. Delia, I love playing outside the box. Biddy Penny's in the house. Hi, Biddy. I love to play with it. Now, you see these tiny strips? Now, it just so happens they cut perfectly with it. Okay, that was just by chance. So why can't we take that piece and put it on the back of the card? But I do. I drive people crazy. I had one person holler at me. It was a novel that I'm wasteful and all of that. I don't think I am. And there you go. Look, we decorated the back. But again, it's how we used to create. And it's not like I'm throwing out the whole pad. So Terry, back to your question. How do I get my ideas? The paper pad how far I can push something. And I know I've said this many times. So when I was in high school, decades ago, um, chemistry was not my forte. Just not my forte. I believe my science teacher looked at me. He did. He looked at me and said, "We just need you to get out of this class." Because I was that person to say, what happens if I mix these two things together? What happens if I mix a little bit of this together? And it's also kind of how I cook. You know, I don't follow recipes. I kind of just throw things in a pot and see what happens. You know, what are the flavors? I don't put anything bad together, but let's test this out and let's see how this goes. You know? I just I guess it's I don't want to follow the rules. So, I want to see, with limited supplies, with glue, with scissors. Yes, I'll pull in my paper trimmer because I can, but I want to primarily just use scissors. I want to primarily just use basic supplies. And how far can we do it? Can I create something without a die, without that stamp? Because I do believe that this is a wonderful, paper is the best medium in the world. It goes with so many other things. Okay, for our next one, we've got this opening. So I just take a paper clip and I want this piece to stay in line with the bottom. I don't want this to shift because that's technically the bottom of our card. So I just grab a paper clip. All right. Now, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to have a little bit of fun with this one. So here we have this, and I have this thin strip. So see, I'm using my thin strips, creating those mats. And to line this up, again, I don't measure. I just sit there and say, okay, here it is. I need to grab my scissors and cut it here. So we've got that. I'm also going to grab another paper clip just to hold that down because these things are driving me crazy. I can't get them flat. So we have that. This one's really directional, so I need to save that one. All right, let's see another pattern. Let's pull in. This is a beautiful paper pad. Yes, absolutely. Can't say it enough. But there's not too many designs going on here. All right, I'm going to real quick cut a strip on this one. Let's see if there's any question. So, Terry, did that answer your question? I know I ramble and I gab. When it comes to that, I just want to see how far I can push it. Where can I take these products to the limit? How far can I push them? And that's kind of where that comes from. Now that border may change because I want to pull, where's my, here it is. Yes. I want to see how far I can get it. Sometimes I do just take my pieces, I line them up, I hold them with my fingers. I know this drives people crazy too. But guys, if you are more comfortable measuring, please measure. I mean, don't think you You have to, you know, oh, oh yeah, okay, all done. Yes. When you choose your solid cardstocks, have fun with the colors. Your eyes will tell you, yeah, no, that's just not gonna work. That is just ew. Um, that is just horrible. Your eyes will tell you that. Trust me. And we're just going to continue to have fun with our layering pieces. And the next one we're going to do, we're going to tear some paper, because there is nothing like the feeling of tearing paper. I think it gives a cool edge. It gives a cool look. Because most of you know, so into the vintage. All right, let's start putting our pieces down. So what we're creating here is we can bridge across our cardstock. Why not? Who said we can't? Delia, you're right. Scissors are quicker. You can see I'm having to stop. I'm pulling up my paper trimmer. I'm doing this. It all depends. I do just like eyeballing things. And scissors are absolutely great for that. Again, it's paper. It's got two sides, and there is an abundance of it. I'm using a 6x6 paper pad. They run anywhere from $5 to $8. And we've already made 3 cards, and I've only hit like maybe 4 or 5 sheets out of the 18. So, yeah. We're going to have a play on the location. So I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to go to the bottom. I'm going to make sure my bottom piece is lined up. I know that I will make sure is not crooked. I'm going to have fun putting that there, putting that there. I'm going to take this one. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a little bit down on the bottom. It's almost like you're creating belly bands for our junk journalers in the house. And I'm going to come up like that. And then for this one, you can go straight. You can have all kinds of different angles that you want to go. I think I do want to put another color behind this. And I don't think I have a big enough piece. I do not. So we're going to pull in another color. And I think the color I'm going to pull in is ivory. And we're going to do the same thing. When you use a dark color to mat your pieces, this is going to be a strange term, they're going to pop louder. When you use a softer color to mat your pieces, it will soften them. And for this one, we can go straight across. We can have fun. Put it on an angle. I'm not going to put this one on an angle, though, because I'm really lining up with that. What I can do now, though, is remove my paper clips. I mean, we could really go on an angle and do that. I mean, have fun with it. But these flowers, they're really going up and down. So I am going to put this straight on. So I'm going to put a bead of glue here. And I'm going to put a bead of glue here. And we're just going to set that down. We'll try to get it straight. Push down on it. Yes, Biddy, your ear should have been burning. Yes. I do not know how you fussy cut with these things. And now the card stands up and we've got this different style section going on in our card. And because we use solid cardstock, it doesn't look horrible on the inside. You could take these other strips and add them in here as well. Why not? Because they're almost the same size. Yeah, I'm eyeballing that one. And if you want to pretty the inside of your card, why not? We've got our strips that we can have some fun with. Because again, this is to the inside. Just remember, work upside down. So like this flower, you want that flower, you know, facing up so that when they see it. Crossing the barriers here, people. Crossing the barriers. And there you go. There's another card. And you got this fun opening going on here. We created a bridge, and when they open it, they see that on the inside. So it looks like paper stitches. Yay. All right, card number 4, done. Let's keep going. Let's work. The one that I want to make sure is in here is this one. Because we're going to see, we're going to do a collage panel. I'm looking at comments here. Let's see. Delia, that's how you cook too? Yeah, I just throw things together. You know, all that fun stuff. Well, Terry, yes, the science teacher was scared I was going to blow up the school. Yes, he was, absolutely. And he did. I think he just gave me a C to get out of the class because I know I didn't pass. It was just a tough course for me. Laura, what paper pad I am using? Hello, Laura, by the way. I am using the Paper Rose Poppy Field. I think it's been out for a little bit. 6x6, 18 double-sided pattern papers, 3 each of 12 designs. It's soft, it's beautiful, but there is like, there's not much in pattern choices, but it is beautiful. Let's see. Terry, she loves my ramble. Yeah, there's a lot of people love my ramble. There's some that don't. Yeah, Cordelia, that's another thing you can do. Take your piece. Cordelia said, just take your piece, glue it down onto your cardstock, and then when you have a paper trimmer, use your paper trimmer around it. Absolutely. You could do that as well to get that. I'm sometimes lazy to really pull that out. So, yeah. And Terry, it's okay that you can't cut straight. It's really okay. That gives you a thing. All right. Let's get 2 more cards. And I want to do this one too. So we're going to put the other bases away. We'll see how far we get. But there's two... I'm going to hold off on that one. I just have an idea on this one. Okay. Now, I saw there was a pattern paper in here that was pretty cool. This one. So we've got a top and we've got a bottom. Okay. Here we go. Now, I know this is 5.5. Remember, always know this section here when we're doing these fancy cutouts. It's 4 1/4 by 5.5. This is a standard A2 size card. It could be 5 by 7. So whatever your card base is what you want to know what your primary base is, even though we've cut it. And all we did here was we scored at 1 inch. And then here we scored at the 4 1/4 because this is the hamburger cut. Or no, we didn't. We scored at, see, I have to measure 3 1/4 and 1 inch. All right. And that's how we still have the 4 1/4 here. So here, what I want to do, now we're really going to get wild. Really going to get wild here now. I do want to cut this down to 5 1/4 because I still do like to have a border. So we're going to cut this down actually to 5. I'm going to grab a piece. Sorry, that's a sound I make instead of my fingers tapping. I'm sorry. That probably really annoyed people. This we're going to cut to 5 1/4. I am going to take this side and we're going to tear. Now, tearing paper. Is there a method to the madness? Not really. But there are 2 different looks. So I'm going to use this little piece here. If I take my right hand and tear towards me, see how I have the white there, but I don't have white here. So whatever you're doing towards you will not have the inside of the paper. What you pull away from you will have the white paper. So if I do the reverse where I take my left hand and pull towards me, I have the white because I went away from me with my right hand and I came towards me with my left. So just a little tidbit when it comes to tearing paper. All right. I like the white edge on most things. So for this, though, I'm more comfortable. I need to turn it so that my right hand, I like my right hand coming towards me, but I want the white edge, and that's what this is going to have here. So that's going to be on this side. I'm going to use my thumb to tear along this. So I'm going to fussy cut this piece by tearing it. You do it in small areas, and you can see I am tearing around my thumb. See how my thumb's like cutting into the paper? And then I'm going to come up. My thumb's going to guide it. I'm going to stop. My left thumb is guiding where the tear is going to happen and how far it's going to come out. And then, boom, there's our torn edge. And we fussy cut. You did not need the mahumba of the scissors. Just saying. Yep. Oh. Now, I'm going to take this piece here. We're going to add it to our border. And I'm going to glue it down. But I'm only going to glue it down along the bottom. I'm going to let this alone, but I want to get this in place. Just going to eyeball the borders. Now, we could take this right now. We can set this in here. I've got a little bit of a border. It could sit inside. This piece can come down. All right. We can put something on top, but it's not going to stand up right because this is going to want to flip out. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to be a little more wild with it. So we are just going to tear. Basically somewhat following it. And we're going to put that off to the side. So when we close this, this is going to come across here. Now, you can also just take this piece and remove this bottom hinge if you want, and then just line that up along the bottom, and then she would stand the way a normal card would stand. All right. But I like the fact that this is coming over this way. So now I'm going to glue this down. Again, putting glue just on the one side. And we're going to line it up. And we're going to press down. Now we have this space over here. So we can do something on this side as well. We could do the same thing. So in a way, we can create a booklet. And why not? Cards just don't have to be cards. They can be bookmarks. They can be ornaments. They can be gift card holders. They can be all of these fun things that may help, and I use the word help. I do use the word help. To guide our recipient to say, hey, don't throw this out. You know, we love you. Don't do that. I'm just going to cut this piece in half. And I'm going to cut this down to 4 1/4. Now we're going to cut that, and I think, yeah, that's to 5 1/4. And we've got that. We can also continue the wave. So if we want, we can get this in here. Tuck that in there like that. And have it sit like that. So we get these layers, and they don't realize what they're getting until they open it. So we're going to do the same thing, place that down. Now, why am I leaving the top to because we can fluff it. So now we've got that. We've got that there. And we can just line this up in behind it. And now we've got these folds that are coming out. And it looks like it's all supposed to be that way. I'm just going to line that up underneath. I'm okay if it sticks out a little bit. We have that. And now we can fluff. It's paper. Have fun with it. That's another good reason why to have the white, because it will fluff more, or that softer edge. And then with this one, We have ribbons, we have twines. Notice how I'm grabbing for another pair of scissors. Just to add a little tiny knot. It doesn't have to be a bow because I don't do bows very well. Bows are one of those nemesises of mine. Even tying a knot, obviously. We can have that there. Again, there's your belly band so that when this comes off and we open our card, boom, boom. And you've got this effect. You can also hold it this way if you want. Boom, boom. You can put a strip of something here if you don't like that edge. And again, with our other pieces, why not take this one and put that there? Remember, we have torn pieces of paper. So why not have fun with adding them to your borders to give that same illusion of torn paper. I love the look of torn paper. And there you go. And it looks like it was part of it. So this card can go many different ways. Again, glue, hands tearing paper. That's what we got. Let's see, any questions here? Cordelia, yes, the Paper Rose paper collections have really grown very much. And before I let you all go, I'm going to show you what the next project is. Most of you know I finished Creep on June. Yes, I did. I love that project. Absolutely loved it. All right. We are going to just have fun cutting now. So I'm going to be somewhat specific with my cuts. And I am going to match up my cuts. So like this one here, I'm going to take this piece now that I've cut it. I'm going to lay it on top of this one. Again, I'm not measuring. I'm just cutting. And I'm going to cut around that. So now I've got my two for that one. No, not two different sizes, but I like these two. So I need those. What's this one? That's another one of those. This. It's close. And I'm good if it's close. So we've got two of those. So now we're just going to cut some strips and just have fun with it. But anyway, I finished the Creep on June. And I'm going to move on to the next one. So I will show you what that project's going to be before I let you all go. If you want to say it. Totally up to you. I am simply cutting squares with the different pattern papers in different sizes. I've got strips, and that's where my scraps are going to come in. So like if I see two that are really close together, I'm just trimming it so that I can use them. We're going to pull in some pattern papers, and I really do hope that this works. And I'm going to make sure that I don't have any papers missed. So what we're going to do is we are going to collage. And I think that's all I need for that. I probably have more. You guys know me. I always go with more. So these are bigger pieces. I'm going to put these off to the side. And these here are my scraps so far. Whoop, they're not my scraps. All right, and we'll put those there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to choose 2 color cardstocks, 2 solids. I think one's going to be a gray because I kind of like the gray. And the pink or the ivory, guys. What do you think? Terry, what's creep on June? Okay. So, let's see. Let me make sure I have the... That says made for you. Okay, Cordelia, that is an awesome stamp. Oh my God, that's hysterical. I have a stamp about Hallmark. I forget what it says. I'll have to see if I can find it. Delia, you'll love tearing paper. It is so therapeutic. Absolutely so therapeutic. Let's see. Going through comments. I'm tapping my fingers. I'm sorry. Okay, so Terry, what's creep on June? It was a journal. It's in the journal process. So Tracy Fox from Fox Creative, she does a creep on June. So it's like Christmas in July. This is creep on June for her, which is Halloween in June. And she designed this. Okay, guys, which one with the gray? The pink or the ivory? Or both? Let me know in the comments. So she designed this, and her partner wrote this story. Hey, Denise, good morning. It was this whole story that was read. It was awesome. And she really put a lot of work into it. So it's like, and it's 30 days. You do this thing for, I did it in a journal and I had different videos shown. So if you just search on my channel, Creep on June, you'll see the journal. The last video is the flip through. When it comes to that. So it was a very large, chunky alligator journal. And I am so honored. I'm honored by you all. I really am. I love that we're here crafting together and chit-chatting and all of this stuff. I had a couple people, a few people actually, email me before the final flip through came up to say, okay, when is this being listed? I wasn't sure if I was going to. So yeah, and it sold. So just absolutely honored. All right, we're going to use these 3. So you can see that. And I showed different aspects of what I created. There was a deed, a file case. I didn't show the cover. My God, I forget what else I created. And the each of the pages for each day that you could journal in. I think I only showed like 10 days of that. And I showed the cover and the spine and the back, how I put that together. So different aspects. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take these 3 solid cardstocks and we're just going to place them down on our cardstocks here. We're not going to think about it. We're not going to care. We're not going to, nope, we're not going to do it. And we're just going to have fun placing them down. And then, yep, we're going to cut around them. I'm going to keep a thin border going around them, but I do want the border. But I'm going to make sure if I've got 2 squares the same color, I want them on different color cardstocks. So we got that. And you can see I'm just, again, there's no thought. Little glue goes a long way because it's, remember, it squishes. It squishes out. I've also, for some reason, I don't know why, but I love it. I love every minute of it. There is going to be another stamp release. And that's going to come out. It's going to be the fall winter collection. So yes, that's going to be out. I think, okay. I don't think I wanted to do that, but that's okay. We're going to go with it. When I line these pieces up, I'm finding the straight edge because that's going to help me when it comes to cutting and all of that different stuff. So you can see I'm coming along the edge of my cardstock. If I can get into a corner, that's even better. If it's not perfectly straight, I don't care. I can straighten it out somewhat with my scissors. But I am just putting these papers down and getting them backed. So you don't have to have actual measurements. Oh, I want that one on ivory. Just have fun cutting with your scissors when you're doing this. Find some cardstock. If you've got, I think I want this one on gray too. And then this, I want that one on pink. I don't have too many pink. And then I think I'm going to do that one gray. Now I'm hoping I did enough. Now I'm going to look at my scraps. I'm going to use this one. Because I want to make sure I have enough. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's not going to fit. Again, we're just layering. We're just having fun. Using up our scraps. Making sure we get the most out of our stuff. All right, this should be enough. So I'm going to stop here, and now we're going to cut. Delia, note to self, look up creep on June. What I encourage you, for you guys that are looking up the creep on June, is to also go to, in the videos, I have it linked to Tracy's website as well. I so encourage you to check out her channel And she gives a disclaimer on the story. It's nothing too scary, but it does pull in some, you know, supernatural things. So if you're not a keen on that, you know, she gives that warning. But to just hear the story from the beginning, it's a happy ending. All right, which is cool. This was just ingenious. It was just something that I just had to do. So make sure you check her channel out too. If you're into journals. You know, again, I know not everyone is into journals. I absolutely love it. We're seeing them just a little bit more on the channel. So again, I'm just cutting around my pieces, getting those borders. Now, I matted each of the pieces. You don't have to do that. I just do like the matte look. You could just skip the mats and go straight to the pattern paper. Long shears allow you to do that straight cut, or better straight. Let's call it that. All right, now, last one. Okay, that is a thicker cardstock. See if there's any questions. Yes, Biddy, you did. You were just so on a roll. It was awesome. It was just awesome to watch those to come to life. And when I see that you're live on the weekends, I turn it on. And then I just sit in my room. It's actually how I got through. I was telling everyone in the beginning that I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And I had to do this project. So I got very nostalgic. And I went back to one of the beginning dies that Scrappy Tales came out with. Sabrina with her pop-up. And I just had fun with it. So while you were doing your journals, I was doing 3 centerpieces. All right, we are finally down. But you can see how quick that goes when we just use, you know, our scissors and our eyes and just have fun with it. All right. So we have all of these pieces, and I'm going to push those out of the way. So these are great, you know, just plop them on the front of a card. You can make a 4x4 card, a 3x4 card, you know, whatever size card you want to make. Plop them down, boom, you're ready. All right. But we're going to work with this frame. All right. I'm going to put a paper clip down. Not that it's going to work. Okay, maybe it will. All right. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take these and we're going to start layering them. I could have also gone smaller. So no, I'm not going to need all these pieces. We're not going to be precise with our placements. We're not precise. We're having fun. We're just going to place them down. We're going to leave some openings. But we want to make sure they cross. Okay, we just want to make sure that they cross. Now, you could also, like this is probably really big. Those big ones are just way too big. And that's okay. So we'll put this one down here. That's, no, don't want that background. I want a gray background to come off of this. We're going to take another stripe and we're going to have that one come across this. And I like that stripe more. So what we're doing is we are just having a play with all of these components that we created. I don't like that one up there. See how my eye told me, no. You must remove it. But you want to have the openings within your piece. That's kind of what you're looking to do. So for this one, I think I'm going to go up and under. All right. See where I'm going? Look. Terry, you got to give journals a try. Just give them a try. And I know Biddy does a lot of journals that you can see. Okay. And that's how I want this to look right there. All right. So now I'm going to push those off to the side. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start gluing. Now, I'm not going to take anything off this card. So what I like to do is I put my hand down. I'm going to lift this up. And I'm just going to put glue down here. And I'm going to push it down. Okay? You don't have to. Me and that press and seal do not get along. Once you get the first one down, you're okay. So now I'm going to take this. I'm going to lift this up, put glue down, push down. I'm going to come over here, push up, put glue down. I just moved my piece. It's okay. I'm going to slide her back, bring this down, push down. Yeah, me and press and seal, nope. We have a love-hate relationship. I tear my papers all the time. Glue. And then finally, I can lift this corner up and put spots of glue there. Anything seeps over, wipe it away. Now I can remove the paper clips. Now, this is now one piece. So now I can pick it up. And I'm just going to eyeball and try to remember where the frame was. Push down, lift this up, and just look. It's okay that you have glue in spots, guys. It's okay, because look, you can wipe it away. And there's another reason why it's okay, because you're going to see now what we're going to do to the inside. All right, so now that we have our piece down, we're now going to flip to the inside. Here, I want to put this piece. I'm going to put that piece there. I'm going to flip her over because I know that she's overlapping just a little bit. So I just want it somewhat straight. And I'm just going to keep turning her. I'm going to layer this piece here. Nope, I need a pink one. I need a pink one. Nope. But I can put a pink one right here. So now we're putting the collage to the inside. And that's where you've got to have your like pieces to come across on some of them. Now, I really want this one in. So how can I fix that? Well, we can do this. I'm going to take away the mat. I'm taking this and I'm lining the paper up with this paper here. And now I'm going to cut. So that I can take this and put it right on top of that. And now I can layer. I'm going to take this one and place that one right there. And then that off piece, I'm going to put there. Doesn't need a mat because I didn't wait for the glue to dry and I went to erase it. So now I got a smudge. And that's what I did down here. Message can go here. So now you've got layers upon layers upon layers and upon layers. Cool? Cool, cool, cool? Have fun with your papers. These I keep. I always, even when I die cut, I always die cut more. See? I'm telling you, me and Press and Seal, nope. We have a strong hate relationship. Every time I watch everybody use it, and they are perfect with it. Absolutely perfect with it. Nope. I tear my cardstock. It's just, that is, oh, It's horrible. All right, so look at what you can do, and you can see through it. And with this piece in the back, it's okay. You've got a border here and you've got a border here. So that's why I do like to mat those strips, because then you get that pop of solid color. You just want to make sure. It's good that I went with the 3 colors instead of just 2, because I had that 3rd color to play with when you're going around. But you've got this cool see-through. When they open it up, it continues over here. So it looks finished. And then you've got your pieces here. Now, again, you can write your message up in here. I'm very used to, when I give a card, sometimes it all depends on who I'm giving the card to. But for most, I use a Post-it. I have craft Post-its that I just put in here. So I don't care what this all looks like, because I can put multiple Post-its. If I know somebody's going to appreciate the card, then I will write directly in the card, all over the place. I've even gone to the back. So you get this difference, and you can see through this. You can see, like, we could have moved this. If I wasn't ridiculous and impatient to erase my glue down here, this could have been moved up so that you could see it through these openings here. So again, yes, I use a paper trimmer to cut some of these pieces. That's just to speed up time for here, but have fun with your scissors. I mean, you don't have to, you don't, you know, you just don't have to. So these are the cards that we made today. I think they're all pretty cool. All right, we have our I'm going to call that a trifold, I guess. All right, where we just got these torn paper layers. We've got our collaging. I love to collage. Love, love, love. We have our opening here for a top folding card, if that's what you like to do. Create those bridges going across, and then we added some decoration to the inside to make it look finished. We have another trifold where we have these 2 here, and then we have that panel there that comes in. And again, just keeping it simple. You know, don't take it to the next level if you don't want to. Just cut your papers and have fun layering them. Gotta love layering them. All the papers in a paper pad work together. It's how they're designed. It's how they're made to function. So in 2 hours, well, all right, close to 2 hours, we made 6 cards. Now, let me show you what our next journal, it is going to be a hardbound journal. It's actually going to be a scrapbook album, but it is with a paper collection from Paper Rose. Yes, like we were saying, Cordelia, they are awesome paper collections, and they're just growing. They add a lot of different things to them. And this one, it seems like it's a couple different ones, but they all work really well together. I'm just clearing off my desk so that I can get them in. And so here we go. But, oh, no, can't do that. Something's going to come crashing down if I don't move this. And we do not need to hear that. So it's going to mainly be a journal or a scrapbook album. It's going to be a scrapbook album. And I'm using the Candy Kisses paper collection. And it also has the Candy Kisses basics. So sometimes when Paper Rose comes out with a paper collection, they'll have, I'm going to call them add-ons. And when they do the add-ons, those are the collections that I'll use for scrapbook albums, if that makes sense. Okay. It's just a different, because you get more of the plain backgrounds here. These have a lot of images. So you get all of these words. I very rarely use the words, but you get these great cutouts. These are great for journaling cards. That's your background there. Beautiful for your front. That's your background. Absolutely love the roses. More cut aparts. Great stripe. Beautiful. Cut that in half. You get a great top and bottom. That's your bit. I'm getting really hungry with all the sweets. Beautiful roses again. And again, that's beautiful background. I love the brick. If it's vintagey looking, yeah, I'm in. Adorable beetle or bug, whatever you want to say. And then you got that going across. So I just thought it was an adorable pack. And then you just have the basics. So these are things that coordinate with it. Again, more words, don't use them. So this here, cut that in half. You can have a difference with the roses. Polka dots. Awesome brick. Stripe. So it's going to have a Christmas feel, more of that one print. Green stripe. It's going to have more of a Christmas feel. Looks like fabric. Pink polka dots. More roses. Green stripes. Blue stripes. Blue polka dots. So great for backgrounds when it comes to the scrapbook album. I did already get the album together. I think we're going to hear them come crashing down any minute. So here's our album. Our album's going to be 8x8 with a 3.5-inch spine. Oh, yes. Delia, I did too. I mean, no, I didn't throw out all the press and seal. I gave it to my sister. I kept one roll in case I ever go back to it and we bond. Nope. Still not bonding. So not bonding. Yes, Terry, they are. Wait, oh, I haven't gotten to all the pieces yet for the collection. Bontic Vintage Designs on edge. No, Cordelia. Oh, did you just get me caught in something, Cordelia? Oh, I think you did. Okay, so that is going to be, so 3.5-inch spine, so it's really wide, 8x8. That's going to be our book. The difference is, so we've already got the hinge system in place. Here I go again, petting my hinge system. So instead of creating them where I put them down, in previous videos I've shown, you know, you create this pocket wraparound thing and then you push it down onto it and you got to fish out. I saw one designer, I think her last name is Werner. She does amazing scrapbook albums. I love watching her. But she had 2 pages. So we're going to have 2 pages where one is going to be stuck here. And then when you get to the other side, there's going to be the other one is stuck in the back. And they're going to be having closures of ribbons, but instead of having 8 sides, so 4 pages, you've now grown up to 16 sides. So you'll have pockets and everything in here, and then pockets and everything out here for each one. So you'll have a total of 16. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to do it together and see if it does. So not my idea. So not my idea. I just saw her put this together. I thought, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool because then you'll have all of the ribbons coming out. And then what Paper Rose also does is they create cut aparts. So here's Candy Florals, Candy Kisses, Candy Treats. So need a piece of candy right now, right? And they come out, I mean, look at these designs. They are just absolutely gorgeous. And now these are cut apart, so you have to fussy cut. Yep, we're all envisioning Biddy coming in with these large scissors again. I know. And you get a lot. You get 18 single-sided sheets, and there's 6 different designs. So there's 6 pages, and you get 3 of each. So it's a huge amount if you love die cuts, but you have to fussy cut these. So they're just some of the Candy Kisses. They all had roses, and I don't think they all go together, but I'm pushing them all together. And then these are just the to die for donuts and macaroons. And yeah, I know I'm hungry. I'm sorry. So I have all of those, but what I'm going to use first, they also came out with embossed die cuts. So here's Candy Treats, Candy Kisses, Candy Florals, and then this one's called Candy Rose Garden. And what these are pop-outs. Now, they don't come this way. I popped them all out already. But these are actual die cuts that you don't have to fussy cut. But they're also embossed. I don't know if my camera is picking those up. They have like clear embossing in some areas. They're absolutely gorgeous. I mean, they're gorgeous. So I picked these up as well. Now, I should not say I picked these up. I did not pick these up. I was very fortunate and honored to be a part of the Paper Rose design team for a couple years, and I loved it. And this collection was sent to me, so I want to be completely transparent. But I'll also be transparent to say, yeah, I would have gotten it anyway. I pick up these envelopes. This is what holds all of my die cuts, whether it's for journals, things that I've die cut, or anything else. These are just absolute 4x6 pockets. So yeah, you get 4 sheets of embossed pop-out die cuts, and they're pretty thick. So there's all the treats. These are all of the Candy Florals. I'm just seeing these being layered. And of course, I'm going to be adding tickets. I will always put a vintage junk journal style to all of this. And then these are the Candy Rose Garden. So absolutely love them. And then you get the 2 6x6 paper pads. So you get the basics and then also the Candy Kisses. And pretty much the papers are the same. They're just in a smaller scale when it comes to that. So that's going to be our next big journal style project. And then I'll have a journal type, a vintage style journal that will come in as well. So they're going to be the big ones. And then, you know, cards, you know. I have fun with Sabrina's collection. I can't wait to see what her new one is. Let's see. Looking for questions. So bond ticket. I have to look that up. Delia, you're wondering if your brother scan and cut. I'm looking to get rid of mine. Yeah, I want to move to a Cricut. I don't know. I have to be honest. I do not know. For some of the images, I don't think it'll pick up the color, to be very honest. And that's my frustration with my brother scan and cut. Stamped images, it is perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I just don't think your brother scan and cut's going to work on this. If they're dark, yes. But on the outside, like this here, it's pretty thin and it's pretty light. I don't think it would cut it up or catch it. I had pieces like this that I was trying to have it do, and it didn't. I love my brother scan and cut. Used it a lot, especially once it came out of where it was after I redid my room and I had access to it. Yeah, that made me use it even more. But there's certain things that, yeah, I can't get it to cut. And it was frustrating. I understand now why people go to a Cricut. because you can scan the images in, and you can tell it what to cut and what not to cut. So I get that. But again, I know it's a lot of cutting. I'm not going to cut all those. If there's one that I want in here, I'll cut it at that point. But I won't pre-cut all that. I mean, we have craft knives and scissors and all of that. And again, it doesn't have to be exact when we fussy cut. I think sometimes I used to do that. I used to stress myself out when it came to fussy cutting. It had to be perfect. See, question, Terry, out of your videos, yes, which would you recommend for starting journaling? Whew. Okay, so Terry, there is a playlist on my channel just for journals. It shows journals, it shows ephemera, it shows all of that. Go to that and actually go to the beginning of it, because I believe there are a couple journals there that I start from the beginning. Some of the journals use digital downloads. I think there is a journal in there where I just use the supplies, making your tags and layering them and all of that stuff. There's also, check that playlist. You can also check out Biddy Penny. She is huge in journals, and she is freer with her journals. And here's what I mean by that. So when I do a scrapbook album, it's, I do get more precise. I do actually measure. I do actually, when it comes to the pages and the pockets and cutting the cardstock and the flips and the flops and everything. Now, when it comes to decorating, I can let loose and I can get a little freer with that. Okay. I usually plan what it is. When it comes to a journal, I'm still planning. Good morning, Anthony. I still planning when it comes to a journal. I'm usually using a digital. The journal that's going to come out, though, I think very soon. I think that's actually, I'm going to start it in my next live. Next weekend, hopefully, fingers crossed, is where I found an abundance, of, like sketch paper, all this different type of art types papers. And I'm going to use that to fill the journal and then make all the pockets and everything else. So again, using what I have in here, that's going to be that journal. So you may want to catch that. I only show bits and pieces when it comes to my journals. Okay, so let's fill you in on a couple things, and then I'll let you guys go, so that you can enjoy your day. And hopefully you're having beautiful weather. You're having nice weather. Oh, look at what we have left. 6 cards, and I still have 2 of each paper. So we will save these. So one of the things, as I said, there is a new stamp collection coming out. It's going to be for the fall and the winter. It'll be released probably beginning of October, like it was last year. And we'll have a live, and I'll show you all the stuff and everything else. 2 people have seen it and have raved about it. So we shall see. So that's going to be coming out soon. The other thing that I am in the process of finalizing is a community. So I don't know if some of you know, I have an online, another website separate from the my main website where my shop is held. And it holds all of my online courses. Now, right right now, there's a stencil course in there. There's more Zentangle courses that'll be there. Coming in 2025, I have completed the colored pencil course. Huge. It is a huge course. So that's going to sit there in 2025. But what I'm also putting there is a community. And it's going to have different levels. And the first level is free. There we'll be able to talk. You'll have exclusive video content, video postings. You're going to see sneak peeks of what I'm doing, what we're creating. You're going to be able to choose what I do. The YouTube channel's staying in place. It's going to stay. It's not going anywhere. But it's going to be the community where you'll be able to see me. Again, you'll get exclusive video and more details about it will come out. There's going to be a community specific for Zentangle and Tanglers. There's going to be a community specific for journals and scrapbook albums. When it comes to the two specifics for Zentangle and for scrapbook and journals, you are going to see a project from start to finish, real-time videos. Some of them will be live. Others will be I just turn on the camera and start talking, but everything is real time. You will not have any gaps. Like on my YouTube channel, you have gaps. You know, you see one section and then when we come back, you see the next section completed and all of that stuff, if that makes sense. There, you start to finish. So one full project a month that you'll see. Same thing in the Zentangle. And if you like both of those worlds, you have the opportunity to get a deal to get access to everything at a discount price. So that's what I'm building. And what I love is even with the free, you guys will be able to post your pictures if you're comfortable doing that. And letting me see what you're working on. And we can talk about paper and we can talk about all of that. You don't have to be in, that paid community where we won't have projects and be talking about things there. So it's like this little tiny, it's not a cult. Worship the paper. Worship the paper. But it's just going to have those different levels, and it is for everybody. I'll still have the Tangle Facebook group. That will still continue the way that goes. What's different between the Facebook group and the Tangling in the community is you're going to get more step outs. You're going to get more projects. You're going to get more lives that go into play. So that is what I'm putting together. And it's a better platform, I think, than Facebook and everything else. Everything here will be the same. Still going to do my lives here, still going to do the projects here that I do, and all of that stuff. So I've got a lot of things going. So 2025 is going to be fun as we continue to ramp. Yes, Terry, please do both. Check out Biddy's channel. She is at Biddy Penny for YouTube. She does great journals. She is just free. Back to Biddy. She's just free. She grabs cardstock and she just pulls it through, and very mixed media-ish, very where I usually put a little more thought into it, unless I'm collaging or doing a masterboard. She's great. Gail Agostinelli is also great too. Absolutely great. Um, she will do journals from beginning to end, and you'll see them because she'll put a part one, part two, part three on there as well. And she is like one of the originators when it comes to this. And she does great things, shows lots of ways for ephemera. Very inspiring for her as well. Um, I know. I've got to talk 2025. Anthony. I gotta, I gotta think that far ahead with everything that I kind of, unfortunately, life is wonderful, life is awesome, but once in a while it just throws you those little tiny wrenches that kind of get you down onto your knees, and we just got to pick ourselves back up a little bit. Um, so yeah, that's how far out I go. All right, guys, that's all that I have. As we get closer, you might start seeing some sneak peeks of the stamps. One of them was inspired by one of my followers. She was not here today, but she's actually the inspiration for it. So I think that's kind of cool that you guys, and you guys always do, you guys always inspire me. So please keep that going. Enjoy your day today. I hope I've given you some ideas, and hopefully somehow I'll be able to see what you've created from these. Again, so many different ways that we can have fun with our papers, layering them. We don't need dies, just need hands, scissors, and the paper itself. So go enjoy, take care, continue to stay safe, healthy, always be kind, and I will talk to you in the next one, guys. Best to you all. Bye.